Good morning, everyone. Well, actually, good afternoon. I keep saying good morning, but in reality, it is almost noontime. And so happy to have you here. If you are new to me, I'm Michelle Quay. I am a visibility confidence coach, and I help women coaches to launch a business with the content that would actually convert their audience to their clients so that you can get out there and get seen, get heard, and get hired. Those of you who are new to the social media platform, welcome, because it is a jungle out there. And when I say a jungle, I literally means a jungle, right? There's Facebook, there's YouTube, there's TikTok, there's Instagram, there's what else is new? Clubhouse was something that was newly came about last year. So there's all these different type of platform, but exactly which platform is right for you. Now, if you may not have thought about this, but Pinterest is something that's been hanging around for the longest time, but not many coaches talk about using Pinterest to grow their business. Today, I am excited. I am thrilled. I can't wait to bring her onto the show. She's patiently waiting in the backstage with me. Her name is Missy Campbell. Missy is a mentor and magic creator, a mentor to the magic creator, a human designer for business expert and a Pinterest expert, and mentor for international entrepreneur ready to grow an intentional, aligned, soul satisfying business. And I emphasize the word soul because as we're putting out there, the content that we're creating, as we're putting our self out there, a lot of time we forget that we are these soulful human being. And when you are soulful, heart center, there's different type of business strategy that you are using to get your word out. So today I'm super excited to have Missy to talk about this soulful approach where she keeps things very simple. So without further ado, let's bring her on to the show.
Hello. Thank you so much, Michelle. I'm excited to be here.
Missy, I miss you.
I know I loved our conversation last time.
I do. So I know I always go into this conversation, start with, tell me about yourself.
Yeah, so I have been in the online business space for about 5 years, and it's been a magical evolution as these things are. We never know what's coming from day to day, and there's no blueprint. No one's ever done this before, so we are just trailblazing our way to whatever we're supposed to be doing. And it's been a wild ride, and I just wake up every day wondering what we're going to do next. So yeah, I do business strategy, online business management services, pretty much everything. People are like, I didn't know one person could do all of these different things. And I look at everything through the lens of human design, and that's something that I came across about a year ago, and it just gave me so much permission to do it in my own way that feels energetically really good. And so I already was like good at the strategy and all of that stuff, but there were so many things that it's like I'm supposed to do this and I'm supposed to do this, and no, I'm not supposed to do any of that. I can just do it my own way. And it's true for every single person. So all of us have an energetic way of doing business that feels really good and that works for us. And that is the only way we should be doing business.
I love how you say it. We have our own way of doing it, and it doesn't have to feel like I'm applying a type of framework where, oh, business coach tell me to do X, Y, and Z, and therefore I need to do X, Y, and Z. I need to be on LinkedIn. I need to be on Facebook. I need to be in all of these places in order to get our first clients. I love your simple strategy, simple approach, just coming back to who we truly are, from a human design perspective. I'm wondering, how did you get into business?
As all of these things happen, I feel like the next right thing just always happens for us, and, I started having these ideas and really started journaling about, just envisioning creating something. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know it would be online, but that was probably 8 or more years ago, and I have 4 kids, so, I was homeschooling them and they were all at home, but I just kept, like, dreaming of creating something, doing a lot of writing, and really working on skills, learning photography, and just all these things that felt exciting. I just wanted to learn new things, um and then I just had set a date for myself that I was going to launch a blog and start social media accounts on Valentine's Day of 2016. That was like, okay, I'm just going to launch something that day. I don't know what's going to happen. And it was actually in the natural living niche. And so I was into traditional food preparation, fermentation, and I was teaching local classes. And yeah, and I just kind of started there, and then, of course, when we start anything online, we start to learn about marketing and strategy, and I'm just kind of naturally a nerd, and like I said, it's just, kind of, we just do the next right thing, so I just
Mhm,
felt really drawn to those things, and I was signing up for online courses, going to like live events around the
mhm,
country for business and connecting with people. And people were like, well, how did you grow your Instagram? And how did you? And I was still doing natural living in,
mhm,
in that niche at the time. And so people just kept saying, I think you need to start helping people, that you really know a lot and you've really done a lot.
mhm.
So that's how it started. People just kept drawing it out of me, and every time I would sign up for a new thing and go to a new event, the same thing would happen. I would sit next to somebody who was like, "Oh my gosh, tell me how you did that." And and so I just all of a sudden, I woke up one day, it was actually almost exactly 3 years ago, 3 years and 2 weeks ago, to the day that I just woke up on December 4th and of, 2018, and I said, "I'm gonna start offering services." Just decided when I woke up in the morning, and I got my first client the next day.
Oh my god.
And it was just in a Facebook group. One of my online it was somebody I'd actually met in real life at one of these events was asking for help with their Instagram. It was a really small first client. It was amazing. I was like, "People get wow, this is amazing. I get paid $200 a month." Like, I thought it was amazing. Um, and so, yeah, and then I slowly from there, my second client was actually an amazing online entrepreneur that I have just watched just really blossom over the last few years. So I just have met some amazing people and had some great opportunities. And really, it's just been an evolution. And then
Mhm.
human design, again, these things keep popping up it's like when something is meant for us, we just keep it's like, why do I keep seeing this? Why does this keep popping up? What am I supposed to learn from this? And
Right.
so I started investigating that, and I thought, okay, it's really helpful for me, and I'm learning so much about myself. I started doing my family's human design and being like, wow, I really understand my children so much better. My husband, wow, this is amazing. And then I started looking up clients. I'd be like, "Can I just look up your design for a second?" And I would and so I just started to see that as another tool that I could add in, helping people in their business strategy and
Mhm.
how I run my business. So that's really the evolution that's got me, right here today. It's just the people I've met and the connections I've met and just doing what feels right in the next moment and allowing that to be like I said, I have no idea what I'll be doing tomorrow.
I love that. One of the things that I remember the first time we met, you actually looked at my human design. I was sharing with you that, I did this human design assessment way in the past, but I had no idea what it all means. And I remember you set me down and you walked through the human design with me. So my type is a generator type.
Yeah.
And so generator is all about getting out there and taking action and doing things and getting just putting the word out. So what I focus on a lot is about taking that action, taking how to get someone to go into that action step. But what I also heard from your journey is that you didn't hesitate to holding on to, oh, what is my niche? It was something that just came naturally to you. It was like natural health. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna write my blog. I'm gonna put it out there on Valentine's Day, and there it is. It's out in the world. But slowly you notice that there's pattern, there's signals that came to you that was signifying, hey, you're so good with Instagram. Can you help me with that? And people start coming to you for that. And that's how the business start to getting evolved. So I think it's great encouragement to a lot of the women's in my group, where they're really stuck on deciding what is right niche for me before I send it out there to the world, before I decide which
Mhm.
platform to use. So just coming off from a soulful place, it feels so natural, so good. It flow without soul.
Yeah, I think just choose something that you feel confident that you've met someone in real life and you feel confident being able to teach them something that you know. That's a really good place to start. You can always it's an evolution, so you're not committing to anything long term. And I have the exact same domain URL that I've had since day 1, and now I used to blog about kombucha, and now I offer business services. I have nobody cares.
Yeah, it's the same one, tasteofsimple.com.
And now just the homepage says what I offer. It's still it just doesn't matter. Nobody cares. And I think people get so hung up on sort of like the business plan and the niche. And it's like, just really think there's somebody out there who can learn from you. There are so many places to connect with people. And I think I've seen so many times in groups, people like, I'm trying to launch this graphic design business and I just can't seem to get it going. And my response is always just search in this group graphic design. You'll find 50 people who need your services right this minute. If you connect to 10 of them, I guarantee one of them will hire you as your first client. You don't have to. People, I think they get we see these people who are so successful and beautiful websites and have a podcast and they beautiful marketing and they can afford to run hundreds of $1,000s of ads, and we think that's how business is done, and we don't realize the decade plus time it's taken them to get there, and that you just need to start with one client, and you barely have to have anything to get started. You don't even need a website. Optimize your Facebook profile with what you offer. Set up get a free email service provider like MailChimp or MailerLite, set up a landing page where people can sign up. It can be totally free, it doesn't have to cost you anything, and just start. What if it feels good to you and it's energetically good, people will sense that. So just be yourself, start connecting with people and just get a client. That's what business is. It's not, "Oh, well, I wanna make 100,000 a year, and so I have to have all of these beautiful graphics," and, you just don't need any of that to get started.
No, interesting, because I was just sharing with one of my client. I said, "Well, you don't need to subscribe to anything. You don't need to pay them anything yet until you have that one client who's like, hey, here's the money. I want to pay you, and that's the moment that you start paying to get your subscription." And that's how I started it. When I first started, I just do everything for free, right? The free calendar website, and this way I can book my clients. There's a lot of things that you can do to utilize it and try it out, just to get out there and then test the water.
Yeah, I love that, and I think too and I also started the first year, I don't think I paid more than $50 in everything that I did, and I will say there does come a time to invest in things, and there is some energetics involved with that, and that is really what flipped things for me, but
Mhm.
it's not from a place of scarcity and missing out, and if I don't do this, I'm gonna fail. It can't ever be from that place, but there is a time where this is where I am, and I can either keep doing exactly what I'm doing. I've learned so much free stuff. I've implemented all of it, and I just need a little bit more. And that is a great time to invest, and you'll know when it is. When I first signed up for a program that was $2,000 for a year, which to me was huge at the time, um, it was like pretty much all of the money I was making in my business.
Yeah.
and that's my and I was like, this is an investment, but I had done so much free stuff, so many webinars, watched so many YouTube videos, applied everything I had learned, and I just thought, okay, I can keep doing it this way. And, I'm making X number of dollars, which isn't very much. or I can take this chance on myself and
Mhm.
see if it takes me to the next level. I mean, $2,000 is not a huge amount of money to risk, and I
Mhm.
do believe if you do the work, you will get the results. So, I just went into it and there was a refund policy. I said, "Okay, at 60 days, I can just cancel it if
Mhm.
I just went all in, did every lesson." And I will say it was the connections I made in that program that really are what helped me just feel confident. And, they were like, "Well, teach me how to do that." So I will say there is definitely a time to invest, but first, do there's so much free stuff out there. Find
Mhm.
people you love and respect and feel connected to and learn from them. Michelle's constantly putting stuff out there and supporting people. So there just feel, make yourself part of a free community like that and start to get
Mhm.
involved, and you can find clients. And like Michelle said, as soon as there's a client, great. Like proof that this works. Let's keep going with this.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I know one of your expert area is on Pinterest. Can you tell us a little bit more about Pinterest? Because I know a lot of coaches don't think Pinterest. Why
Yeah.
Pinterest?
I love Pinterest. I feel like and you were saying earlier, it's one of those things a lot of marketing people are not talking about. It just isn't people don't see it as like a sexy thing, like Facebook ads, ooh, sexy. Facebook, oh good, I can get in front of everybody. Instagram, I can post these pictures and do reels, and it just isn't very sexy to most people, but to me, it's about simplicity always, and it is a marketing platform. It's essentially a search engine. That's what it is. It's Google with pictures. And so if you set up an optimized account, you do some research, find keywords just like you would for SEO on your website, set up your account with a nice bio,
Mhm.
come up with 10 boards that represent your brand and what you offer, and a couple things a little bit out there, a little bit outside of what you offer, so people can organically come across you through things that are a little bit outside.
Mhm.
If you set all of that up and you've got your keywords, that works for you every single day without you doing anything. Just like if you wrote a blog post and it was optimized for SEO, people can find it in 20 years. As long as the internet's around and you've got it optimized and it's something that people are looking for, they're going to find it. And what I love about Pinterest too,
Mhm.
versus social media, where when we post on social media, our content lasts maybe at most 4 days, maybe a week if it goes viral. But on Pinterest, it actually lasts forever. So we can make one thing. I mean, it takes me an hour to do something on Instagram. If I spend an hour doing stuff on Pinterest, I could have I could have 10 things that could work for me for the next 10, 15, 20 years. And
Mhm.
so that to me, it's just such a good investment of time. I think everyone should set up an account, spend, I would say, like 10 hours of time max, and you could have a perfectly optimized account that would work for you every single day. You could never do anything with it again
Mhm.
and just
What
have it there. Yeah.
what would be some of the tips to help the audience to like optimize their Pinterest? Let's say I'm a new beginner. I have never heard of using Pinterest. What are some of the key points or key area that I need to look out for?
I love this. So first thing is, do have a business account. So if you've been using it personally to, for recipes or home remodels, just what I recommend is just switch that to a business account. Don't get hung up on what my niche is and starting fresh and what my URL is. Like really nobody cares about any of that stuff. So just whatever your account is, just click business. Don't start over, don't get fancy, like just click business, start from there. And then if you have a bunch of boards already, what I would do is just go through anything that if you have a business, if it's not part of your brand or personality. It can be part of your personality. Like I like some minimalism and so many things. So my Pinterest reflects all of the lifestyle things that I like.
Mhm.
Um, just go through, you can just click secret and it'll just make it so only you can see those boards. No one else can see them. So no reason to start over, no reason to delete anything, no reason to and that's the first thing. Business account, then make secret any boards that you have, and then think about what you want your bio to say. So what I recommend is brainstorm people who offer something similar to you and start looking them up. See if they're on Pinterest. See what their boards look like. see what their bio says, go down a rabbit hole, see who they follow, open up all those tabs, see what their Pinterest looks like, find people who seem to be using it well, as far as it visually, it feels appealing to you. So they basically know how to use the platform. They have followers and viewers. Okay, that probably shows that they probably know what they're doing. So I would just see, what does their bio look like? What are the names of their boards? And then just start to brainstorm what you offer. How could you turn that into some board names? The boards are, I call them, they're like a bulletin board. So it's kind of like a folder where you can put content in, and you want to put some content from other people, mostly content from other people. It's really a curation tool. And then you'll be able to infuse your own things into all of that, which is, really where you're going to get that traffic. And I know lots of people in the coaching space, a lot of business spaces who say that Pinterest is their number one traffic source. So it is good just to get it set up. So really, the bio, the boards can all have really nice descriptions, like a nice long paragraph. So think about keywords, phrases, things like that that you can use. It's just like SEO for your website for Google ranking. And then that's really it. And then you can go into Canva. There's tons of free templates. Click Pinterest. It'll make the exact size you need. It's 1,500 pixels tall by 1,000 wide. And then you can use one of their templates, switch out your colors, switch out your font, put your pictures in there. You're good to go. And then it's all about driving traffic. So people click the pin, it takes them to wherever you want them to go. It could take them to promote your Facebook group. It could take them to a landing page to promote a freebie. It could take them to, maybe you have a $37 offer, something like that. A popular blog post that you have optimized with a way for people to connect with you, just all of these places that you can send people. So I recommend doing like 3 to 5 different images for each place you want to send people. Pinterest sees each image as a separate piece of content, even if the copy and the website that you want to send people to are exactly the same. It's the image that Pinterest sees as a new piece of content, and it loves new pieces of content. So you could make 30 or 100 images of one thing and just put it all in there. Pinterest would see it all as 30 or 100 different pieces of content and would promote them each as individual things versus kind of, docking you for spamming. So it's an amazing tool, and maintenance is so minimal. And that's what I love about it, that it's all in that setup process, of that research process, and then it's done. And then just as you have something new, if you make a new freebie and you have a landing page, go and make 3 to 5 new pins, pin it to your brand board. I recommend just starting a board that's the name of your brand. That way, if someone were to search in Google or in Pinterest for your brand name, that board will immediately pop up and it will have all of your content in it. One thing about a nicely optimized Pinterest account is it does rank really well in Google results. And without a website, you can show up on the first page of Google results with a good Pinterest account. So I actually searched my name the other day, and my Pinterest account was on the first page of Google results.
I Googled you too.
My Pinterest, last week it was on the first page of Google. So and my name is a fairly common name. There are hundreds and hundreds of people with my name, probably more than that, with my exact first and last name. That is really the power in it. And like I said, there's really very little maintenance once you do that. And just whenever you make something new, just go ahead and make some new pins and put them on there. It can be as simple as you want it to be, and you can make it a little more complex, but there's really no reason to. It just works for you all the time.
Yeah. I completely agree. I think when I first I knew about Pinterest as a blogger back in the ages, because as a blogger, that's the like kind of like your place to go to advertise your blog, to put it out there. So
Yeah.
I knew about Pinterest as a blogger, and when I became a coach, I didn't know where to advertise, and I didn't have the resource to pay the ad. So I had to get the word out. And the way that I was researching, I use Pinterest, and I use Pinterest to share my blog posts, and I draw a lot of traffic to Instagram because I was sharing my Instagram posts. And so organically, my Instagram followers just to start to grow without even me jumping on the like follow for follow train, because then that's like, oh, someone else is like the same category industry as I. Why would that person wanted to, sign up as a client? So it brought me a lot of these traffic to the Instagram.
I love that. Yeah, that's another thing that I also do that too. So, I have a board that I think it's just called, my Instagram, or I can't remember the exact name, but I have a board where I just put my Instagram stuff, and again, it's just another way to drive traffic to you wanna build bridges to yourself all over the place, and then eventually it's amazing. I mean, at this point, I really do no marketing for myself, and, people just find me. They're bridges. There are Facebook groups that I've been answering people's questions in for years, and people will search in that group and be like, "Oh, if I search Pinterest in this group, your answers are constantly popping up, so it must be something you know about."
Mhm.
Just thinking about how can I do one thing that that lives on, so that in months or years, there's so many of those things that it's easy for people to find me and
Mhm.
connect with me. And I love that because, a lot of times with social media, it's like we create something and it's almost like it dissipates into the universe after a few days. And it's a lot of effort.
Mhm.
People do put a lot of resources into it. And I'm not saying don't do it, but just really think about, is this what is the purpose of this in my business? And I mean, a lot of it can be that I'm building something for the future. That's a perfect purpose for something. I'm doing little things, and every day each of the little things doesn't matter that much, but over time it will build something beautiful. And so that's absolutely a reason to keep doing things, but try to be really intentional and clear about,
Mhm.
how are each of my platforms working my business? How many resources should I give to each of them, and what is the ultimate goal? And it is an evolution. You don't always know which of them will just land for you and
Mhm.
be a good platform. So
Yeah.
yes, I love that.
I know you have something that's like really exciting that's coming up. It's called Pin Magic. Tell me more about that.
I'm so excited. Yes, so I have been how I was explaining to set up Pinterest accounts. So I do that for people. They can hire me and I do all of their research, set
Mhm.
up their entire account, create all of their pins, we optimize all of their stuff, and then they're good to go. And then I train them on how to continue to do it, set up automations for them. So it pretty much runs on its own. And then Pin Magic is me teaching people how to do that themselves so that they don't have to hire me anymore. And a lot of people do. I know when I started, and I like to understand the workings of everything in my business. As much as I like to outsource and get help, I still like to understand how everything works. To me, that is really important. And I think we should, give ourselves that in, just really being involved in all the parts of our business and learning. And then we can decide if we want to do it or not, but learning. And so that's really what it is explaining exactly how Pinterest works, and I will show you exactly how to set it up, how I do, and then, you have that forever.
Mhm.
You could give it to somebody on your team for them to continue to maintain your Pinterest account. If you do a blog or a podcast and you wanna continue to create weekly content for Pinterest, which is definitely something, if you have a podcast, any kind of regular content, I do recommend, promoting that over on Pinterest. I manage a couple of people's podcasts, and we do, video pins every week for their episodes, and just put them up on Pinterest. It's another way for people to find you now, next month, or in 5 years. They always can find that episode and go and listen to it. And I do, not to get off tangent from Pin Magic, but I do think another really great bridge is being on people's podcasts. That
Mhm.
is something that has a very long shelf life. I've had people reach out to me and they're like, "I heard you on so and so's podcast." I'm like, "That was like 18 months ago." And so that's amazing. People will just find someone they love and just binge, and all of a sudden they've come across you and they reach out to you. So I do like that, another way of connecting and But yes, I'm excited about Pin Magic, and it's something I've been talking about for years.
Mhm.
And I really want to move into a place where I can serve, everybody and not just people who can afford to hire me to do it, and
Mhm.
more people who want to learn and understand all of the workings of their business and marketing and all of that.
Yeah. I'm dropping the website to sign up. This is a wait list, right? So you
It
buy okay.
it is a wait list. Yes, so that will be coming out in January.
Oh, it's time. It's like 2 weeks away.
Yes, I'm excited. So yes, sometime in January, I am doing a human design mastermind, so I'm focusing on that at the moment for early January, but my
Mhm.
plan is to have to have Pin Magic out and available for people, in the beginning of the year. I know people get really excited about, and I've just had so many inquiries, so I know the energy is there. People are getting really excited about the potential of their business for next
Mhm.
year, and how do I, what other things can I add to my business to help it grow? And
Yeah.
yes.
I love it. I love everything that you have shared and said because it really feels that just really go with your soul, go with your heart. Let it drive you. Let it take you to places where you really fit in, feel comfortable, where you can shine. It's nothing that's like forced, and it doesn't mean that you have to do things in a certain way in order to
Mhm.
accomplish your goal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So much of like the lens for everything in my business is, just being really intentional so that you really can be a little bit lazy. I like to be, I call it intentionally lazy. So, how can I create something that works for me long term? When I put my energy into something, can it kind of do two things at the same time? And then for people who are, introverted and very empathic and sensitive, there are, ways of marketing, and Pinterest is definitely one of those ways for those people. And a lot of spiritual people do reach out to me for Pinterest for that reason. They just get really exhausted by social media in general. So, yeah, just I love what you said. Really recognizing your energy and doing what feels good. That is the right way for you to run your business.
Yeah, yeah. And creating long lasting content so that you don't have to keep recreating, reinventing the stuff.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, we're coaches. Our where we shine is really working with the client, helping them, getting them onto their feet so that they can launch. But we're not designed to sit down and keep typing and creating. We're not copywriter, we're not writer. That's something that we don't have to do. And I love the fact that you can share blog posts and podcasts, and it'll just last on the Pinterest for a while, for a long time, until you're actually taking it down or the link is broken for some reason.
Yes.
Yeah. So many things that you can do with the Pinterest. And I'm so glad that you're here. I can't wait to hear more about the Pin Magic. And again, your website at tasteofsimple.com.
Still the same one?
Right? And people are wondering, like, how do I rebrand this now that I'm doing something else? Well, there you go. You have a perfect example.
Yeah, just keep it simple. So many times I start working with people and that they have like I literally have worked with people who have like 3, 4, 5, 6 Instagram accounts. I'm like, if if it's you, it almost always can fall under one umbrella, almost always. There are very rare instances where, 2 ideas of things that you wanna do just cannot be brought together, but because the energy is you, and in human design, this is absolutely true. I'm a manifesting generator. I know you're a generator, Michelle, and the energy, that brings is perceived really well from other people. So as a manifesting generator, I'm meant to do a million different things, and it doesn't confuse people. It
Mhm.
doesn't confuse people that my website's called that and that I offer. It doesn't confuse anybody. And so that's, energetically, and I love, like, if people want to look up their human design, and learn a little bit about that, it is a great place to start in, really creating a business that energetically, it'll show you, like, most likely what it will tell you is I'm on the right track. And,
Mhm.
"Oh, I can let go of these 3 things actually because I thought I was supposed to do this, but in my soul, I knew I wasn't." My mind kept saying, "Oh, yeah, you're supposed to do that." So it just really gives you permission. It's like, "Well, yeah, my intuition was telling me all along."
Yeah.
I don't like doing that, and there's a reason why I don't like doing that, and I think so much of it is, what can we remove versus what can we add?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's so beautiful. And I remember the other day I went onto your website. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. It's so aesthetically attractive to me. And I'm attracted to like simplicity, something
Mhm.
that's very easy to understand, like the easy button, or I don't have to figure out because life is already complicated enough.
It
Right.
is, yeah, and just keep everything so simple. I think so many of the obstacles, and this is definitely in the coaching space, this is a coaching tool. So many of our obstacles are perceived, and as soon as we sit down to do it, it really like and we can just really break it down to what is the one thing I actually have to do. Like my
Mhm.
website, thought about, "Oh, I need to make this huge, beautiful website. I need help." I literally sat down for half a day and made that website. It's not fancy. It's just a drag and drop website. And you can get so hung up on, oh, I need this, and it seems really complicated. But oh, actually, I just need a one-page website that has a picture of me and says what I do. That's actually all I need.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's just how Missy is. So definitely check out her website, the simplicity of it, and she really follows, she walks the talk. She's not here. She's not someone who's up here and just sharing all these amazing tips. She really walks the talk. And I am so honored and so pleased that you'll be able to join us here today and share all these amazing tips with our audience.
No, it's been amazing. I just love your energy, Michelle. I'm so glad that we connected. I feel like we connect with certain people for a reason, and I love being in your space and watching what you're doing, and people are so lucky to have you as a guide.
Thank you so much. So again, ladies, that waitlist at tasteofsimple.com/pin magic. And it begins January. Yay. I'm so excited. All right, Missy, I'm going to put you to the backstage so I can close up the show. Okay, ladies, hopefully you are thinking about from now till maybe the end of the year how to optimize your Pinterest so that you can start creating these evergreen content to share on the Pinterest that it will last you, draw the traffic to you for the long run. And Missy has shared all these amazing tips. Take them, check out her website, really get to know her. You'll love her. Trust me, you'll love her. I love her. So thank you so much for joining me, and join me again next week on Wednesday at 11 o'clock. I'm going to have another guest to you and bring more valuable business and mindset tips for you so that you can rock and roll in your business. I will see you next time. Bye.
'Cause I'm